What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. So this video actually came about from some research I did the other day. I got curious and decided to look up the fastest bullets in the world, and apparently from what the internet says, number one is still the 220 Swift, and this is referring to production cartridges, not hand loads and crazy stuff that people come up with. As far as boxes of ammo that you can go buy at the store, the 220 Swift is apparently still number one at like 4,600 feet per second or something just astronomical like that. So I've never shot that gun. I've never even heard of the caliber, honestly, but right underneath that at the number two spot was the 22-250, and that is a gun that we actually have in the safe. So today we're gonna shoot it. So this is the Ruger M77 22-250 rifle. It's actually a nice looking gun. I'm not too familiar with these, so I don't know where it lines up in terms of quality, but I mean, this thing looks absolutely brand new and it should work just fine for what we're gonna do in today's video. So like I said, this caliber was number 2 on the list at velocities of like 3,500 feet per second, all the way up to over 4,000 feet per second, depending on which bullet you use. And we have some different types of ammo, a bunch of different targets, and today I just want to see what the second fastest bullet in the world is all about. Let's do it. All right, guys, really quick before we go shoot this thing, I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys what this bullet looks like up close. It is a wicked looking sucker. You can see it looks just like a 5.56 from the neck up, and then obviously has a much bigger shell casing from the neck down. So this is the 55 grain Hornady VMAX, which 55 grain sounds a lot like another caliber we're all really familiar with, the 5.56 AR-15. And this one says it's going 3,700 feet per second, which is not too hot for a 22-250, but it's already several hundred feet per second faster than the fastest 5.56, which is considered a pretty hot caliber. So I'm excited to see what this thing's all about. Something tells me it's probably gonna be a loud one. So this is actually a pretty popular caliber, at least here in the Midwest. A lot of people use these to hunt coyotes with and stuff like that. And I would imagine people who don't know any better would probably assume that the faster a bullet's going, the better, which definitely is not always the case. There's a point of diminishing return you can hit where bullets start under penetrating and disintegrating on impact if they're going faster than they're designed to. So I'm curious to see how the 22-250 reacts on certain targets, being that it's going so dang fast. So we're gonna start with actually a soft point. This is not the bullet I showed you guys in the beginning. I'm gonna shoot our paper target down there and just see where this scope is hitting, because I've never shot this. I don't know if it's zeroed, and curious to see where we're hitting on the paper. So a lot less recoil than I expected. That is really nice. So it actually feels great. The recoil impulse is obviously different than an AR-15. It's a bolt action gun, not a semi-automatic, but I wouldn't say that it has too much more, if any more, recoil than something like an AR-15. And it didn't sound as loud as I thought it would, but I have ear pro on, so I'm not really sure, but I like it. There's something about bolt action guns, I just love them. Let's put a couple on that steel plate. Check that out. So this is a really thick rifle rated steel target, and all these marks that you see are from AR-15s and AK-47s. We shoot this thing with rifles all the time, but that one right there in the middle, and I hope you can see this on camera, is from the 22-250, and it dented the crap out of that steel target, which really just goes to show how fast that bullet is actually going. So I won't be shooting the steel with it anymore. All right, we got her close enough. Let's start having fun with it. We're gonna continue the video down here because the heat is about to kill me up there. All right, so first I wanna test this on some bricks of paper. So these are obviously pretty tough to get through, and although that bullet's going super fast, I think because it's so lightweight, we're gonna see that it probably won't penetrate too far. All right, so we'll start with the soft point, and then we'll probably try the VMAX. Most calibers don't go through more than 1 or 2 of these bricks of computer paper. Let's see what this one does. Sounds a lot louder down here. All right, so I'm not sure if that's an entrance hole or an exit hole. It kind of looks like a little entrance hole on the back side of that one. And then we have a big exit hole right there. You can see we at least made it through one. Entrance hole on this one, big entrance hole on that one, and a humongous exit hole on the back. And that was a soft point bullet, and those usually tend to break apart quite a bit. So that's a lot of penetration. I'm impressed. All right, let's try the old Hornady VMAX. This will be the first time we've shot this one. Curious to see what it does compared to the soft point. That one even felt a little more powerful. So there's our exit hole from the soft point right there in the middle. Look at the difference from that Hornady VMAX. The exit hole that put in that first brick of paper is night and day from the other one. And then we have our entrance hole right there in the corner, and it did not come out the back. So it actually stopped the VMAX and the second brick of paper, and the soft point went through both. The VMAX clearly did more damage and dumped its energy early, but didn't get as much penetration, which is typically what the VMAX does, but I didn't expect to see that big of a difference on something like computer paper. That was pretty sweet. And there is a big chunk of that bullet, probably the majority of it. We got other little pieces in there. It definitely broke apart, but yeah, the majority of the bullet is that right there. Watermelon, anyone? And of course, we gotta try the Hornady VMAX on this one. 22,250 versus a watermelon. I'm taking the rifle for the win. Wow, so I don't know how many of you guys have shot watermelons with an AR-15 or a similar, caliber to this, but that's a rare result. Typically, it'll just blow right through it. You might get a little bit of an explosion, but unless you're using a certain type of ammo, 5.56s and 2.23s don't typically do that. Don't get me wrong, there's AR-15 rounds that will explode a watermelon, but that looks like I hit it with a shotgun. There's nothing left. Let's try some 12-ounce sodas. Those are always fun. These bolt guns are awkward as a lefty. Man. In my scope, I just totally saw those cans disappear. No shrapnel, no liquid, just absolutely vaporized them. All right, now I threw out some old spray paint cans. Let's see if we can make a little rainbow down there. It's Pride Month. And from now on, I'm bringing it off my shoulder to rack the bolt no matter how much criticism I get. These guns aren't made for lefties. All over my table. That one tried to get away from me. Man, is it weird that I love that spray paint smell? Well, now I know why the red one kind of spazzed. I shot it right through the top and it spun like crazy. All right, guys, before we wrap this up, let's go ahead and put one of these in ballistic gel. This is the 55 grain Hornady VMAX, and since this seems to be the more expanding bullet of the two that I have, we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the gel and see how it does. Hopefully it stays in there and doesn't penetrate all the way through or exit out one of the sides, but I only got one gel block, so. That is nasty. All right, so right there towards the top of the gel block is where we put that bullet in. You can see this isn't the clearest ballistics gel block. I need to get some more. But over here you can see the absolute carnage that bullet caused in the ballistics gel. So the first 3 to 4 inches is just pure destruction, bullet fragments going in every single direction, humongous wound cavity. And you can see, I mean, that thing did a ton of damage. And then we have the majority, or the biggest bullet fragment, I should say, right there. It penetrated probably, I don't know, these are 16-inch blocks, so I would say that's 9 or 10 inches into the gel. So not a ton of penetration, but a good amount of penetration. And then again, in the first 3 to 4 inches, it just absolutely devastated that ballistic gel. So keep in mind, this is a VMAX round, which is technically a varmint round, so it's not gonna penetrate as far or go as deep as some of the others, but the damage that this did would probably do the job on just about anything. So technically this isn't my ammo, and I'm almost out of the soft points, or else I would put one of those in the ballistics gel as well. But I've shot quite a bit today, more than I intended to, and I don't want to waste all my buddy's ammo. All right, everybody, that is gonna do it for me today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Ruger M77 22-250. Like I said, it's the second fastest production cartridge in the world, and to me that kind of stuff is just super cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how you feel about the 22-250 down in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of you guys have them, or you shoot them, or you hunt with them. They're pretty popular and pretty common, but I'm impressed. I had a ton of fun with it. Bolt guns are weird. I never really used to shoot them, and the more I shoot them, the more I like them. It's just a different experience altogether. So I had fun with it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below. As always, hit that like button for me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Dude, a piece of a pop can just fell out of the tree way up there. While I was talking, that piece of that pop can that I just shot fell out of the tree, which means we shot that thing like 10 feet up into the air.